Thai police have arrested 10 protesters ahead of tomorrow's massive anti-government rally in Bangkok. Crowds have already begun gathering at the city's democracy monument, calling for reforms. Protesters are expected to surround the Prime Minister's office in the afternoon. Now, the protest marks the 47th anniversary of the 1973 student uprising. Police will deploy around 3,000 officers to maintain order. Saksesa Sambat reports.
It is the fourth big anti-government rally in just as many months that Bangkok will see on this Wednesday, and with each one the stakes are getting higher. The core demands of the protesters, which are an alliance of different pro-democracy and student-led groups, remain the same. The resignation of the government of Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, a new constitution and new elections based on that. But the call for reforms to the monarchy still stands as well. Those include, broadly speaking, the abolishment of the lèse majesté law, which criminalizes criticisms against the monarchy, and also more accountability and transparency in the palace's dealings and decisions. That's until just recently was something that was being whispered behind closed doors, but for several weeks now, these things are out in the open. For this protest, the activists have picked another day with some historic symbolism. On this day, October 14, 1973, a student uprising has ended a military dictatorship and brought in political changes. But these were short-lived, as a few years later, in 1976, another student protest was cracked down with lethal force by the government and right-wing militias. This incident would later go down in history books as the Thammasat massacre. Now, there's some concern by some observers that history could repeat itself, especially since the demands for reform of the monarchy could cross a line for many ultra-conservatives. On the day of the protest, the king and his motorcade is scheduled to pass the protest site on the way to a religious function, which could lead to the first direct confrontation between the king and the protesters if security authorities do not keep both sides far apart from each other. The activists have also announced that they will march and camp out at nearby government house for the night. This indicates that we could be in for a more prolonged protest, which end remains uncertain. Saksesa Sambat, CNA Bangkok.